What's up, y'all? JPTV 3000. You know what YouTube channel it is. You know what we do. We talk about oil field stuff. And today, as you can obviously see, we got a piece of oil field equipment or slash tool. Now, what we have here is a fluid end. That's what this big block of metal is. This is a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quadruplex. Triplexes. Quad, tris, quins, and quads. And a tri is a 1, 2, 3. A quad is a 4. A quin is a 5. I think I may be saying that wrong, but you know, it's all good. But just gonna show y'all, when you come to the oil field, or you come over here to frack, you fracking, and a couple of things you're gonna see, you're gonna learn. You're gonna have to work and learn to, work with this stuff. This way you kind of be more comfortable with it. What the equipment is, some of the names. This is a cap. This is a cap. It's your bottom cap, your top cap. They're the same. These caps are identical. Now, what we're gonna do is gonna open this bad boy up real quick. There's a tool that's a giant size Allen that goes off in here, and it's got a handle that comes out, and it's got another handle if it's not broke off. It spins around like that, spinning like that to put it in, like that right there to take it out. Now you're saying, what is that? This is your crush cap. These are different. Did you see that one? I'm gonna take the bottom cap out. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna let you see the bottom cap. You see the differences. And these have to go back into the pump the way that you take them out. So that's your bottom. This right here is your top. They have to go back in there, or you'll possibly damage something if you don't put them back in right. And in here, what you say, what is that? This is your spring. If your spring comes out of the top, your spring goes back in the top. This is your valve. This is where the action happens. This is your valve. Your seat is that metal piece right here. That's your seat. The valve, as the water pressure gets pushed in by that plunger. Is there a plunger in here so I can show you? Oh, I don't see a plunger. Might be a plunger outside. Plunger comes in, pushes the water up. This valve comes up. Then as the plunger goes back, it goes back down. This spring is a pretty heavy duty spring. That spring is the action that pushes the valve back down once the pressure gets to a certain point, and then it pumps. That plunger down there goes in and out, just like a piston in a motor. Any of you who don't know what I'm talking about. But they all go back in there in the same order. You're gonna get to working on frac pumps. Do not forget your spring. You're gonna have to go back into that pump, find your spring, put the spring back in there. Don't put the spring in there upside down. Doesn't go in there like that. Your spring goes in there just like this. The same thing with your bottom, which this bottom plunger's in the way. That's about 50, 60 pounds. And there's a keeper. Don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can. Yeah, right there. That part right there, that's the keeper. It goes in there sideways. You take a T-bar, stick it off in there, and you twist it, and the keeper comes out, and there's another valve and spring just like this in the bottom. And it works the exact same way. That's pretty much it. This is your top. Your top will always be different from your bottom. Just about every pump I've ever seen, the top was different from the bottom. Anyway, to put it back in there, you're just gonna go in the same order. make sure you put your valve back in there and it seats. It seats. The word is seat. It seats back in there, or sits back in there. Spring goes back on top. Now, something you need to realize. You may learn this over time, or somebody will tell you. You need to clean this. When you take this pump out of there, you need to clean it and use either white grease or oil. PB Blaster is fine if you don't have anything else, but really you want to use oil on these. And you want to clean these every single time. You take them out, you put them back in, you clean them. Brake clean first. Wire brush if it gets dirty. Wipe it off, put it back in. And it's going to go just like this. Valve, spring. And make sure you seat that in there. Now, I don't have a hammer or a bar, which you would take the butt of the hammer and knock it down so that it sits and sticks. But right now, it's pushing up against the spring and I don't have nothing to knock it down off in there with. Or something to hold the camera with. So, it's got to sit like that. Plus, that's the way it was when I came in here. So that's the way it's going to get left. And you put your cap back in, and your cap will go all the way down just like one of these. And your bottom, do the exact same thing. Make sure your keeper is in there. Make sure your valve, your spring, your keeper, put it back in there and actually put back in and locked in. Remember, like I said, I don't have a hammer to get that sucker to at least knock it one time and get it back in there. Remember, your keeper goes sideways in the bottom. Your keeper goes sideways in the bottom. You push it down and twist it this way, the keeper comes out. So to put the keeper back in, put a T-bar on it, push down and twist, just like a lock. Going in there. Going in there. There you go. Now, let's look at some more Oilfield equipment. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna show you this part right here again. This is where your transducer goes. But this right here is your plunger. These are your horse collars. There's one on each side. You have a bolt on each end of it. And it goes onto your plunger like this. There's a better look at what I'm talking about. It goes on there like that, and it holds this and connects this end into the power end, which I don't have a power end to show you, but pretty much you get the point. And you can see some of the other parts and stuff. That's also a plunger. And these are about between 50 and 80 pounds, depending on what size it is. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna show you this right here and tell you some more stuff about this in just a minute. These are other crush caps. This is it's a bottom, that's a top. So hold on. Now, that part that I just showed you, that's what this is. Your transducer it's a transducer for those who know what a transducer is. For those who don't, a transducer is a way to measure pressure. And you can measure some other things with it depending on what kind you have. And the transducer would come up here. There would be a T and a valve, and you would either have a transducer at the top, or you would have a valve so you can bleed the pressure off, and a pop off. Hold on a minute, see if we got a pop off. Well, we don't have any pop-offs, but I can show you a hydraulically actuated valve. Your, let's see, left, right, your hydraulic in, your hydraulic out, and it opens and closes this valve. The thing about it is, you want to make sure, like where this needle is, like it's closed. Just double check, look up in there, make sure it's good. Like I said, it's closed because that's the crossway is closed. That way is open, and when you didn't see light through it, yes, it's closed. And that's what a hydraulic actuated valve is. This is one also, some 2-inch iron. I mean, my bad, 1 inch. That's 1 inch, a T, some 1 inch swedges, heavy duty swedges. It's a Chickson. It's a straight swivel. That's a 90. This is what a plunger is. This is about 80 pounds, just that by itself. This is that same thing that was in the middle of the fluid end. Those are the caps. This is a crush cap bottom. You see by the indentation in here. This is looks like a top. No, not a top. These are your collars for your collars go on here like this, and they hold it in place as one, because two plungers go on here. One that goes inside the fluid end, the other one goes back inside the bell housing. So now you know.